How's it going, guys? It's your boy Elder Tony Williams. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur, and I post content weekly here on the channel. Make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. Let's get into it. So this video will be a little different than the other videos on my channel. If you aren't subscribed, I highly recommend you do. I post weekly videos about finance, saving money, investing, an array of different things that make you money. But today I want to talk about why you can't make every single customer happy in your business. What initiated this video was a recent experience I had when selling a customer a car. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to mention their names, the customers' names inside this video, but I'm going to give you all the details so you get the whole gist of the story. But first, a quick recap of my background. I was selling cars so far for about 2 years. I started off selling cars at Cadillac. I worked at Cadillac for about a year and some change, and then I moved over to Infiniti. So this encounter kind of happened once I moved over into Infiniti. I think I was about a month or two in, and still learning the product. We'll get to that later on in the story. But I just kind of wanted to paint the picture inside of your head so you know where I was kind of in the mix with getting used to the Infiniti product when I started selling Infinitis. So at the Infiniti dealership, it's different sources of where you get customers from. You can get it from the internet department, you can get them from the service department, you can get them from taking phone ups, is what we call when a customer calls into the dealership, and you actually pick up the phone, talk to them, set an appointment. This customer happened off of a walk-in. So a walk-in is a customer that doesn't set an appointment with anyone, just walks through the front door, and the first sales rep that greets them, that's your customer, that's who you're helping assist them. Helping assist the customer. So how did this happen? I was just sitting at my desk, hey, sales to the showroom, that's what they call. I jump up out of my seat, you know, feeling, all right, I'm ready. I've learned a little bit of the product. Let me jump in. Let me try to get a customer. Walk up there, greet them. The first part of the sales process, if you're familiar with car sales, is the meet and greet. This is where you kind of build rapport, talk to the customer, figure out their background, what they're trying to get into, what they're trying to do, what they're coming out of, what they want to move into. From the meet and greet right away. The wife, it was husband and wife. The wife more set back, relaxed, you know, very quiet. The husband, boyfriend, they weren't married, was more of the aggressive type. And I had been in the business for about, you know, a year and some change when I moved over into Infiniti. So I had got pretty good with picking up people's personalities, their body language, and right from the rip and the start of us, you know, connecting, I knew what type of person he was. I knew the kind of attitude that I would get through the whole sales process. So what I did is I just prepared myself, kept a smile on my face, meet and greet, walk up to him, what kind of car are you moving into, what you trying to move out of. He was very, like, you know, the wife was more of the standoffish type. He was more of the aggressive type, the, hey, why do you have to know all that? We're here to see this car. We want to see this car. We want your best deal. So, you know, me just, hey, all right, perfect. I'm going to go with the process, which my sales managers had taught me. We go, you know, we sit down, we do the investigation of the deal. We kind of find out what kind of car the customer wants to move into. They go through the iPad. At that time, we have an iPad. The customer kind of pick what features they want in a car. As far as he's jumping down, like, hey, what's this feature? What's that feature? I'm new to product knowledge. Still had some of it though. I'm explaining it to him. He's like, well, why do I have to pay for this if I have this? And can I take this out and this? And I'm like, hey, we can customize it any way you want to. It's saying it right there, you know, right there on the tablet. If you pick out certain features, it'll pick up a car, the exact car that you want. I'll be able to go grab it for you so we can do the demo. So fast forward, they go through that whole process. They pick out the car that they want. I go grab it, get the keys, let my manager know. We go on a demo. During the demo process, he starts asking me more questions about the car. Still really sharp, you know. I had built up my product knowledge. One of the ones they had picked out was one of the newer ones in the lineup. I had switched to a new body style. Luckily, I had took my training and classes on this one. Was explaining the features, the new features, the benefits of moving to the Infiniti lineup. He's still hitting me with some, you know, questions like, oh, you know, you should have been on top of this. Why do we have to wait so long for the car? You know, otherwise getting it cleaned up for you. Like, yeah, well, you guys need to be more on top of that. Have some already clean. Just like picking any little thing to kind of complain about. Me, smile on my face, kept it going, handling the objections, staying positive like I always do. He's still, you know, do you know when someone's just giving you a really bad vibe, just giving off vibes, you know, when you're trying to make that connection. The car was really for the wife, but he was doing most of the talking. So normally when the car, whoever primary driver is going to be, you try to engage with them a little bit more, find out their hot buttons, figure out what's going to trigger them to want to buy that car. But he, you know, was coming strongly into the conversation, so I kept including him inside of it. He's hitting me with questions, I'm answering, rattling off. He's still being very rude. At this point, I'm like, oh, man, I'm ready for this demo to end. So we get back to the dealership. This is when it comes down to the numbers. But before the numbers, you kind of hit the customer. We talk about trial closes. If you're in car sales, you're familiar. If you're in sales in general, you're familiar with this close. That's when you normally hit the customer with like, hey, how are we titling this? Would it be in both names? You know, custom license plates or normal license plates? He's like, hey, why we need to know all of that? We just want to see what the numbers are. He's being, no, still really aggressive. Me, keep going past it, keep being positive. This is what they train us to do. I'm in action, I'm in combat. I keep going with the process. So we sit down for numbers. This is when it comes down to the close. And this is when I go to my manager, I tell him, hey, they want the car, they want to see what the numbers are. Let's see what we can put together. Here we go. I got a pencil, first pencil from my manager, where we can be on a car. What do you know? Numbers is nothing like what they want. Customer wants this much off the car, wants to be at this payment with no money down. The typical. You normally get that in the car business a lot. If you're in it, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm like, hey, alright, my job as a sales rep, back and forth between the managers, find a happy medium. Where can we be where the customer's happy, management squad's happy, I put a deal together, I get a unit. So we kind of found that point. We found that point, we got to the payment, we got to the down payment on where the kind of customer, where they want it to be. So we get everything set. I got a deal. Once the customer signs, he's still being very aggressive. As the customer is being very, very aggressive. Let alone the car's for his wife or girlfriend. Let me make that clear. Girlfriend, not wife. So we're moving forward with the deal. She signed everything. First thing you do once they sign the papers for the monthly payment, down payment, credit application. Get that submitted over to the management squad. I'm getting the car cleaned up, getting everything detailed. But must I remind you, in order to get this deal across the line, the customer wanted mats, water bottles, cargo nets. He wanted all this. The deal was a straight loser. Straight loser deal. And if you don't know what I mean by that, that means when a deal has no profit in it, you're getting a mini from that deal. That's what this deal was. So, straight mini deal. I don't care. I'm getting a unit across the line. By my second month with Infiniti, I'm trying to push out as many units as I can to make that paycheck. So, I keep going with the process. Boom, management hits me. Credit is horrible. Knife in the heart, gave no indication of this through the whole process. Was being aggressive with me through the whole process, whole line. Gave no indication that we had credit challenges. What do you know? And with that, it qualifies the customer for a different tier. If you were in the car business, you know it's a certain tiers to which you get approved at by the manufacturer. And if your credit is bad, that tier is not going to be good at all, or you may not even get approved. So my management squad, being as great as they are, got the approval. Bad tier, the payments skyrocket from what we agreed on. Skyrocket from what we agreed on. My manager goes in for the close, breaks the news to them. They're extremely upset. They're mad, and in the back of my head, I'm like, you didn't know that this would kind of affect your monthly payment? That's just what I'm thinking in my head. No, didn't say anything. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So affects their monthly payment. It skyrocketed. Somehow my manager was able to hold the deal together. We held the deal together. Was able to move forward. Payment was like $100-something plus more than what they originally had agreed on. Boyfriend, extremely mad. Still went forward with the deal. Girlfriend, like I say, is very standoffish. Wasn't really into the process. You know, she was kind of like behind him, letting him do all the negotiating, all the talking, which was fine. I really didn't care. I was just trying to get a deal across the line. But with that being said, remember, none of my fault. Did everything I can to the process the way the customer was. Turns out we were still able to get the deal done. Customer was super unsatisfied. Saw that same customer after we got the deal done, made sure everything was all right. I even messaged his girlfriend, his wife, about a week after. Then you messaged him another week after. I have it set up in our CRM, customer relations management system, to kind of reach out to customers after the sale to make sure everything's going well. Everything was going well on her end. His end was a different story. About a month or two later, come in, oil change service, say about 3 months later, he's seen me. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Always being nice as I am, positive. Hey, how's it going? Want to make sure everything's going great with the with your new car. He's like, Tony, you're a horrible salesperson. Me, I'm like, well, excuse me. right off. And I'm like, follow me to my office. Let's have a seat. What do you mean? What's going on? I want to make sure everything's going right. He's like, yeah, well, when we purchased our car, the numbers we agreed on wasn't what it turned out to be. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, come on now. It's basic. You didn't qualify for that tier that we had originally showed you, so of course it's not going to be what we originally agreed on, because in my head I thought everything was golden. So yeah, that was kind of the gist of him saying, I didn't qualify for that tier, but I'm angry at you for telling me I might qualify for that tier. And let me remind you guys, I had no inclination that anything was challenged, any type of credit challenges. So, that's kind of me saying you can't make everyone happy. You can't make every customer happy inside of your business. I even hit him with the, hey, what can I do? What can I do to make this situation better? Can I get you something? Remember, I had already got them bottles, mats, everything, mugs, anything you can think of through the lineup for them to raise that customer satisfaction level. None of that mattered. This customer was still angry at something I had no control over. So then, after that, we ended the meeting I had with him in my office and everything like that. It was nothing I can do to make him happy at this point. They had already purchased a car. He said, hey, I will never refer anyone to you again. If I can leave bad reviews about you, I will. And at that point, I was just, hey, I'm sorry. if there's anything I can do, I will surely do it, kind of help you, and what can I do to help you, you know, make things better. He didn't want to hear it, was just, you're horrible. You're a horrible person. So that's me saying, you can't make every customer happy. And that was a lesson to me. And no matter what I did, I could have took $100 out of my pocket and gave it to this customer. He still would have thought I was the most horriblest person ever, just due to that experience he had that had nothing to do with me personally. So I'm making this video just to tell you guys, when running your business, you're going to come across these people. It's going to be very rare, but you're going to come across these people that are going to drain you, work you out. But the thing is, sometimes you just got to look at yourself and say, it's not you, it is them. They're the reasons they are like that. So you can't stress yourself out on trying to please a customer. You can do everything you can. Do everything you can. I encourage you to do everything you can. But if you get to a point where that customer still isn't pleased, you have to chalk your losses and move on to the next customer. Because that 1%, you still have 99% of the customers you can make happy. So you need to focus that energy on the customers you can make happy and not stress yourself out about that 1% you can't make happy. Alright, thanks guys. Thanks so much for watching. It's your boy Elder Tony Williams. Make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this down below. Peace.